Hello viewers, in this session you will learn the first trilogy in the history of drama, Oresteia, written by Aeschylus. It comprises 3 plays, Agamemnon, Libation bearers and Eumenides. The play Agamemnon is the story of Agamemnon, the king of Argos, who is triumphant in the Trojan War. On his homecoming, his subject and wife welcome him and find a lady accompanied by the king on the occasion. During the war, the king captures a Trojan prophetess, Cassandra, and keeps her as his concubine. After his arrival, Agamemnon is murdered by his own wife, Clytemnestra, who takes revenge upon him for killing their daughter Iphigenia to please Artemis, the god of wilderness. Friends, there is a lot of discrepancy in the way Greek names are written and in the manner in which we pronounce. So, let us make it a point that we understand that they are written differently and pronounced differently. The play ends with a prediction that Orestes, son of Agamemnon, and Clytemnestra will come back and avenge the murderers of his father. This is a very short summary of the play, but before we move any further, let me take you through a detailed run of the play. Let me take you through, more importantly, through the life and time of Aeschylus, the dramatist of this play. Aeschylus, a Greek playwright, was born in 525 BC in Eleusis, a small town near Athens. He was recognized as the father of Greek tragedies. His immense contribution to the field of drama shows the volume of his success as a dramatist. He wrote 90 plays. Most of his works are influenced by Persian invasions of Greece, which took place during his lifetime. Unfortunately, 7 of his plays are available in the modern era. The 7 famous plays are Suppliants, which was written in 490 BC, The Persians, The 7 against Thebes, Agamemnon, which is actually the first play of the trilogy Oresteia, Libation bearers, second play of the trilogy Oresteia, Eumenides, third play of the trilogy, and Prometheus Bound. The roots of Greek drama are found in religious plays, mostly about Dionysius, the god of wine. When Aeschylus started writing, it was the initial stage in the development of drama. He increased the number of characters in his plays and created a conflict among them. Earlier, characters interacted only with chorus. This change created a new range of dramatic possibilities, having a perpetual effect on this genre of literature. Aeschylus was actively involved in Greek warfare. He took part in the Battle of Marathon in 490 BC and Battle of Salamis in 480 BC. His experiences in the diplomacy of the country, conflicts with the neighborhood countries, and his visits to some foreign countries are also found reflection in his characters and plays. He was not boastful of his literary contributions, but was so particular of his military achievements, which show his temperament as a soldier and a literary figure. His works have strong moral and religious emphasis, concentrating on a man's position in the cosmos. Such a great soldier and literary figure died in 455 BC. His legacy was continued by his 2 sons, Euphorion and Eunon. Both of them became tragic poets and were as competent as Sophocles and Euripides, the contemporaries of Aeschylus. Agamemnon is a tragedy written by a Greek playwright Aeschylus. Agamemnon is the first play of the trilogy Oresteia, written in 458 BC. The other two plays are Libation Bearers and Eumenides. The present tragedy is the story of Agamemnon, the king of Argos, who comes back home after winning the Trojan War. On his arrival, his subjects and wife celebrate the moment. Agamemnon captures a Trojan prophetess, Cassandra, and keeps her as his concubine. In the absence of Agamemnon, his wife, Clytemnestra develops adulterous relationship with Agamemnon's cousin Aegisthus. Aegisthus is the sole survivor of his family. He strongly intends to retain the glory by killing Agamemnon. Clytemnestra conspires against Agamemnon and kills him. She takes revenge on him for sacrificing their daughter Iphigenia to please Artemis, the god of wilderness. The play ends with a prediction that Orestes, son of Agamemnon and Clytemnestra, will come back and avenge the murderers of his father. Now, let us cast a look on the structural point of view. Aeschylus follows classical norms and Aristotelian concept of tragedy. The classical tragedies were composed within a definite structural framework. The characteristics of Greek tragedy are: the plot should have unity of time, place and action. Protagonist should belong to high strata of the society. Protagonist should have a tragic flaw that becomes the cause of his suffering. Protagonist should struggle, which is the essence of tragedy, and the role of man in the universe should be the theme of the play. The present play follows all these characteristics. From the dramatic point of view, the play has a typical structure. It has 1673 lines comprising many scenes, stories and episodes, which are the parts of the larger story of the play. These stories and events are sometimes narrated by the chorus. The Queen of Argos, Clytemnestra, performs the major role that makes her the protagonist of the play. She belongs to a high stratum of the society and has a flaw that causes her fall. She becomes very emotional after knowing about the sacrifice of her daughter. Her illegitimate relationship with the cousin of Agamemnon, the sense of pride and revenge, make her restless to murder her husband Agamemnon. Throughout the play, many aspects have profound effect on the structure. The entire story is presented in such a way that it follows the principle of unity of time, place and action. These scenes, which cannot be presented on stage, are reported by the chorus. The chorus plays a crucial role and keeps the audience informed about various developments in the story. Clytemnestra, the protagonist, struggles a lot and waits for the right opportunity to take her revenge. As a whole, the role of man in universe finds its way as a central theme of the play that makes this a typical classical Greek tragedy. There are some major and minor characters in Greek tragedy. Aeschylus, the dramatist, can be seen at his best when he portrays various characters in this play. First and foremost, the character of Agamemnon. Agamemnon is a king of Argos in this play. He is the husband of Clytemnestra and the elder brother of Manliness, whose wife Helen was stolen by Paris, the Prince of Troy. This issue ignited a conflict between two countries. Being the commander-in-chief of Greek army, Agamemnon fought in the Trojan War for 10 years, and the war was not only for Helen, but it was the war for pride and identity. He sacrifices his daughter Iphigenia to please the god of wilderness, so as to obtain a favorable wind to carry the Greek fleet to Troy. Agamemnon appears in the play only in the middle. He is tired of his kingly duties as a warrior and desperately needs rest. In course of time, he becomes blunt. As a result of his absence, his wife Clytemnestra develops an illegitimate relationship with his cousin, and both of them successfully make a conspiracy to murder Agamemnon for sacrificing Iphigenia, and also for the sins of his father, who killed two brothers of Aegisthus. Clytemnestra's character is very interesting in this particular play. Clytemnestra is a central character of the play. She plays a crucial role and occupies the central position. She is the wife of Agamemnon, the king of Argos, and rules the country in the absence of her husband during the Trojan War. She is ruthless and conspires against Agamemnon with the help of Agamemnon's cousin Aegisthus, with whom she has an illegitimate relationship. She hates her husband because he has sacrificed their daughter Iphigenia to please the god of wilderness, so as to obtain favorable wind to carry the Greek fleet to Troy. Another character who appears very prominent throughout scenes of this particular drama is that of Cassandra. Cassandra is a Trojan prophetess. She is captured by Agamemnon during the Trojan War. Then he keeps her as his concubine. She was the lover of god Apollo, who blessed her with the power of prophecy. When Cassandra refused to bear him a child, Apollo cursed her that people around her would disbelieve her prophecy. She predicts the Trojan War, death of Agamemnon, and the revenge of Orestes, but people hardly believe her. Aegisthus. Aegisthus is Agamemnon's cousin and Clytemnestra's lover. He develops an intense, illegitimate relationship with her. In the course of 10 years, and especially in the absence of King Agamemnon, who was fully involved in the Trojan War, his father and Agamemnon's father were cruelly rivaled to each other. Agamemnon's father very cruelly boiled two of Aegisthus' brothers and served them to Aegisthus' father for dinner. Since then, Aegisthus was in exile and waiting for the opportunity to take revenge. Any Greek drama has chorus as one of its greatest characters. Chorus is a group of elder and experienced citizens of Argos. They work as advisor to Queen Clytemnestra in the absence of King Agamemnon. They also provide commentary of the Trojan War and provide background to the play by their speeches. As they are a group of people, they do not have individual identity, but their role in the play is crucial. Their speeches give the message of human pride and its long-standing consequences. Other characters who also are very crucial to our understanding of the text involve the Watchman. The Watchman is assigned a job to monitor the signal of Trojan War and the fall of Troy. He sits on the roof of the palace and keeps monitoring the signals. He is joyous since he comes to know that the king of Argo is coming back after the victory in the Trojan War, and is also worried about the future of the country. Immediately he goes to the queen and informs her about the fall of Troy and Agamemnon's arrival. There is another character who is also very important to our understanding of the play, and that is of the Herald. The Herald is an enthusiastic patriot who has dedicated all his life for the country. He has left the country with a feeling that he has left it forever. When he comes back to his motherland, he is delighted and brings the message of Agamemnon's safe homecoming after the victory in the Trojan War. The play begins with a watchman observing the war signals from the roof of the royal palace. He gets the signal of the fall of Troy and the victory of the Greek army. He is joyous and immediately approaches Queen Clytemnestra to convey the message from the battlefield. The chorus of the men of Argos narrate to the audience the story of King Manliness and his wife Helen, who was stolen by Paris, the prince of Troy. The chorus narrates the horrors of Trojan War, which was fought for 10 years. Then the chorus recalls the sacrifices of Princess Iphigenia to gain a favor of Artemis, the god of wilderness. Here is a link to the chorus, Queen Clytemnestra and the Herald. The queen appears and orders sacrifices of thanksgiving. The chorus asks her about such orders, and then she briefs them about the triumph of the Greek army and the fall of Troy. The chorus wonders whether the message is true. In the meanwhile, the herald comes and narrates the story of Trojan War and their victory in the battle. He also updates them that the king Agamemnon is on the way to Argos. Clytemnestra sends him back to the king, requesting him to come back safe and sound but swiftly. Before he leaves, the chorus asks him about Manliness. The herald reports to them that Manliness' ship is missing in the ocean, and probably many people have lost their lives while coming back. Agamemnon's homecoming. The chorus sings a song about the destructive power of the beauty of Helen. Agamemnon enters along with a beautiful lady, Cassandra, in a royal chariot. Cassandra is a Trojan prophetess who is captured by King Agamemnon during the Trojan War. He keeps her as his concubine. Clytemnestra receives them happily and arranges the royal welcome. Agamemnon behaves indifferently with the queen and tells her that walking on the royal carpet is an act of dangerous pride. Still, she insists that he do so, and she brings him into the palace. After Agamemnon's entry into the palace, the chorus sings a song to celebrate the occasion, but the singers are confused and vague, for which they have no reason. Clytemnestra comes out of the palace once again to receive Cassandra. She calls her, but she gets no reply. Probably she does not understand their language and has no other means of communication. The chorus and Cassandra and the intervention throughout the play. The chorus intervenes and requests Cassandra to get into the palace. She has not uttered a single word so far, but now she wails and tells how she is about to be killed. The chorus questions her for reasons, and Cassandra reveals the fact of her being a prophetess and a lover of god Apollo. She reveals the past and future of King Agamemnon. she refers to the sin committed by Agamemnon's father, which has brought a curse upon the family. Then she looks into the future and tells the chorus about Agamemnon and her own murderers. She also tells them that Clytemnestra will be the murderer. The chorus does not reply to her prophecy and ignores her soothsaying. Later, she says that she is going to accept her death than being tortured by anyone else and enters into the palace. We have for quite some time been talking of prophecy. Now let us move to the murder scene. In a short time, members in the chorus listen to two cries. One, that of Agamemnon, who says he has been murdered, and another, that of Cassandra. The members in the chorus are totally confused. Some of them suggest that they should initiate some action immediately, whereas some of them are of opinion that they should know the fact and then intervene. What results is in Clytemnestra's triumph. Now let us briefly look at how all this is made possible in the text. As soon as Clytemnestra opens the door, she is found leaning over dead bodies of Agamemnon and Cassandra. The picture is quite clear to the chorus. Clytemnestra boastfully announces that she has killed both of them. She does not regret her murderous act. In the end, she adds that she is not responsible for murders. She just acted on the curse of Theseus a generation ago. All this results in the culmination of the final scene. In a little while later, Clytemnestra appears with Aegisthus. The chorus is totally puzzled, but very soon realize that Clytemnestra and Aegisthus plot against Agamemnon and murder him for his father's crimes. Before Clytemnestra intervenes, the chorus almost starts fighting. Later, she tells him to ignore them and announces that both will rule Argos. The play ends with the chorus wishing Aegisthus come back to take revenge upon Clytemnestra and Aegisthus. We will begin with the theme of ambition. The theme of ambition is one of the sturdy themes in this play. Agamemnon has unquenchable thirst to win wars against his enemies. For him, the Trojan War was the war for pride and identity. Just to fulfill his desire, thousands of lives had been lost. On one hand, Clytemnestra and Aegisthus are so ambitious and want to achieve their respective goals. Clytemnestra's exercise of power is the absence of Agamemnon, as he was away on Trojan War, which makes her even more ambitious. Hence, she follows unfair ways to fulfill her wish. Another theme which is very striking to the readers is that of theme of manliness versus womanliness. The play can be interpreted in the concept of manliness versus womanliness. The main reason for the Trojan War is the destructive beauty of Helen. This is the war among the men for a woman. Helen was stolen away by Prince Paris, and Agamemnon makes Cassandra a war prisoner, his concubine. In this way, both Paris and Agamemnon commit the same crime of abducting others' women. There is a struggle between Agamemnon and Clytemnestra, and Agamemnon and Cassandra as well. These inputs establish the argument that the play has manliness versus womanliness as a recurring theme. Well, one terribly notifying element is that of theme of revenge, which runs throughout the text like a thread. The theme of revenge is the most important aspect of this play. Here, revenge is the fundamental principle. It gives a sequence of revengeful acts taking place in the story. Agamemnon's father kills 2 of his nephews, hence Aegisthus wants to take revenge upon Agamemnon. Agamemnon sacrifices his daughter Iphigenia, so Clytemnestra takes revenge upon her husband. The play ends with a wish of the chorus that Agamemnon's son Orestes should come back to avenge and murder of his father committed by his mother Clytemnestra and the lover. Thus the play is full of references and backgrounds for revenge and a sequence of revengeful acts. Well, there is this all crucial theme of fate and will throughout the text too. Destiny plays a crucial role in the life of an individual. Agamemnon's fate has been predetermined and it is linked with certain developments in his life which eventually happens. Agamemnon has no option than sacrificing his own daughter to the god of wilderness. Again, it was her fate that Agamemnon was forced to sacrifice his daughter Iphigenia to the god of wilderness. Thus, these elements of fate play a significant role in the text. However, there is another theme which cannot be left unexplored, and that is of adultery and betrayal. The protagonist of the play is found to be treacherous to her own husband and develops an illegitimate relationship with his rival for physical gratification. Her disloyalty and adultery give scope to the interpretation that the play has adultery and betrayal as a major theme of the play. In addition to these themes, we can also interpret this play in the light of lust for power, crime, punishment, emotion versus all prevailing reason. I hope you have enjoyed learning Aeschylus' tragedy Agamemnon. It ends with a note that Orestes should come back to take revenge upon his murderous mother and treacherous Aegisthus. The story continues in the second play titled Libation Bearers of the Trilogy Oresteia. The story comes to an end in the third play titled Eumenides. I am sure you loved learning with us today. See you again. Thanks for being with us.